Welcome back to the Highly Suspicious Podcast with Louie and Preston. As always, I'm your gracious host. With no further ado, reporting live from the Trap House.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Highly Suspicious Podcast with Louie and Preston. My name is Louie.
My name is Preston.
It is a unseasonably warm day in crusty, dusty Louisville, Kentucky.
It's a little humid.
It's summer. It's summery right now. But we're
getting a taste.
We need to come up with a new word for that because if it was 74 during the summer, I would be lit.
Yeah, literally.
I would say it felt like winter.
Well, so I always get caught up on this. Like, people talk about preferring hot or cold weather. I think it's interesting because really, you get used to it to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Like, that first cold-ass day of the year in, like, November or December.
Your body doesn't even know.
No. It blindsides you. You're like, fuck, I can feel the wind going through my bones. Like, this shit is gonna fuck me up.
That was always the worst feeling, just kind of waking up and going outside with some regular clothes.
Dude, people will
and just being like,
about
oh, fuck.
the first, 35-degree day of the year, and it's like, in the middle of the fucking winter, you're begging for the sun. Even if the sun's just gone, 40 feels cold. You know? That first cold day of the year, it's just a cold day.
For sure. So, the first story we're going to get into this episode, if you're not chronically online, you might not even know about this. Preston, I don't know if you know about this because you're...
My feet's fucked from running the podcast. If
I
I'm
love that
honest,
for you.
So somebody was asking me how I had not seen something online, and I was like, because I only see politics. Because I only see political meme accounts all day.
That's so funny. Have you heard about this immersive Willy Wonka experience?
Oh my god, actually I saw some Twitter post about it, but that was the only bit of information.
So you had to know just from that this was a prime candidate for
some content
podcast. Yeah. Because just whenever anything something like this, I look up Twitter at the really podcast gods, and I'm like, thank you for this blessed meal.
Cherry.
So here's how the news originally broke. Police were called to the Willy Wonka experience after families showed up to a quote-unquote empty warehouse. The event reportedly charged $40 for entry, advertised with AI art.
Oh my god.
And said it was a journey filled with wondrous creatures and enchanting surprises at every turn. Kids were all dressed up and crying for what they thought was going to be a magical experience.
Honestly, of all the things for AI-generated art to be used for, I like human-based evil. I think that is an acceptable use.
So, the AI element is something that's also crazy. Makes it kind of a podcast.
It's right up our alley.
But there's more about the AI that I'm going to get to. But just look at the pictures of this event. As advertised, it's a fucking warehouse with sparse little, things that make it like, oh, this is the bare minimum to...
even justify this.
To allow this to be called that, even.
Jesus Christ.
So, this guy who was the actor for Willy Wonka in this little event, he was told that he was given 15-page script, and it was you have to do this and perform this tomorrow, basically. Props to him for being an actual professional actor and locking in with this, but he says that it was 15 pages of AI generated gibberish. So someone chat GPT'd a fucking interactive experience Willy Wonka, and this is the bullshit that it came up with.
Oh my god.
So the GPT made up a villain called The Unknown, who was quote unquote an evil chocolate maker who lives in the walls.
What the fuck?
And look at this fucking guy. There's this video that went viral of him crawling out front of a mirror with a silvery mask And actually, I'm going to turn this volume on because I think it's important for the video.
What is that? It's the end.
Just an immediate like gut reaction from the kids, like, I don't like this. So
Yeah, they so did not fuck with that.
like, why does
I'm a grown man and I don't fuck with that.
Why
If I
does-
was like in the middle of this fucking warehouse.
Willy Wonka need a villain? It's very much not that type of movie.
Leave it to AI, you know?
If anything, the villain
It took a
is
basic
Willy
story
Wonka
structure
in
and
the
just
show.
plugged and played Willy Wonka. That's really how that shit works anyway.
This actor's also getting too into it. He's doing like
Yeah,
face
some
jerk
contortion
things, and it's like, you didn't have to do all of that. Like, you knew
Like,
that
chill,
this was a
bro.
Willy Wonka experience.
Yeah,
You didn't have to do all of this. Like, that's some shit.
extra
that...
shit.
Also, at the event, there was no chocolate given to the kids. All that was
Fuck
given to
yeah.
them was like a
You get
dribble of lemonade and a single jelly bean.
What the fuck?
A single jelly bean is fucking insane. What?
That is
I could have been.
unbelievable.
I could've
That's
been-
not even a bag of candy. That's like you found a jelly bean in your couch cushion.
Even if I was 2 years old, if I was at something and someone gave me a jelly bean and jelly bean, I would be like, what the fuck is this?
Holy shit.
What the fuck is this?
AI's kind of gone off the deep end recently.
Here's a picture of
Oh my god, that's right.
Of
I've
an-
seen that going
of an
around.
Oompa Loompa. It looks like a meth lab, a portable meth lab at this shit. So
I saw people saying like people are like freaking out over that image of the fucking Oompa Loompa chick in the fucking chocolate meth lab, and people on Twitter were just being like, this is your average coffee shop in Portland. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, of all the things wrong with this, it surely is not that.
yeah, that's probably
She looks like she's having a realistic reaction to like, bro, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
Versus
Pain-
the other dude who's like coming out from behind the mirror.
Yeah, that's the two perspectives. The
It-
actors that are
no,
like,
no.
I am a professional being paid for this. I'm gonna give them.
He was embodying Nightman.
What's your perspective about like the AI used in this?
I think it's interesting that it was just used as like promotional art.
It was used for promotional art,
script.
but it was also used to write the shit.
Right.
So
I think that, like I said, I agree that it's weird because like no Willy Wonka shit has a villain. It created a villain, and I'm sure that's just like taking a basic story structure for like
yeah,
a play.
and then there's a
And
bad
just being
guy.
like you
Yeah.
have to have a bad guy. Your plot's gonna go in this exact structural pattern, you know.
yeah,
And so I'm kind of not surprised by that at all. I think it's funny because recently I've been seeing a lot of stuff of just like, oh wait, AI art or AI writing is like shitty. Like AI
Yeah.
art can be cool and, you know, creative in some ways.
yeah,
I, as somebody who like likes having reference images when drawing, I would use it almost like Pinterest. Like I use Pinterest now.
yeah.
where I just go and look
that'd
for
be a good
source
idea
material.
for sure.
But
Used as a tool and not
Yeah.
like a
as your
carry me
sole
to the
fucking
finish
thing.
line.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I think the
Interesting.
same for like AI writing, where it's like, yeah, if you gotta write a fucking paper, like get something a little different than what the fuck what Wikipedia says
Yeah.
from an open AI
Mhm.
and just plug that shit into your paper and reword some shit and elaborate on some shit.
Yeah.
And then you got a solid start to a paper.
For sure.
I used to do the same thing for like writing papers where there was just sites that you could go plug your written material into and it would just add words.
Mhm.
So it would reiterate some things. It would make, you know, like some parts where you used one word like into multiple words to get to that sweet
Yeah.
word count, that necessary to turn it in word count. I'm
Just-
cool with AI as a tool.
Can we tangent on that for a second? is
What?
that
Turning shit in at
no
midnight.
the
The
yes,
dumbest fucking thing to
yes,
do. Like, you have to
but-
actually be as long-winded as possible.
yes, word count
turn in this
is
paper.
just ridiculous because like that's the most encouragement you could possibly give to incentivize like using small words.
Right?
And then this happened, and then that happened, using an absurd amount of descriptive words. That's teaching kids to write worse.
Yeah.
That is teaching kids that
I'm glad we're on the same
that
page for this.
that
I just think
brevity
it's
is not
weird 'cause there's
valuable.
so many things like that. Yeah, literally, where it's like
Here's what
nobody. It's training you to write the same as everybody else, basically.
Here's what I think would be more impressive. That entire book that you just read.
Yeah.
Summarize it in 2 pages where I know exactly what the fuck is going on.
Mhm.
That is more impressive than rewriting the entire book.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
No, I've had to
Tell
do that
me
for,
what this book
Dracula.
was about.
But
I don't need a 10-page paper on a 200-page book. You tell me one fucking 10% of the
Explain the
entire
plot.
book
Yeah,
is
literally.
the report. Ridiculous. But I think I could take it, the whole thing, as an angle of like, this is why AI is so fucked up. This is,
Well-
this, that, and that. But I got what you got from it as far as
it's just half cooked, you know?
this is proof that AI can't just
Make
do
shit, yeah,
everything that
and
we've
do
been
it well.
doing. Like,
Yeah. And it's weird
like
because
we've
we
kind
are,
of been saying that.
Yeah.
We've kind of been saying that, like,
well, we're moving into
we're exaggerating how good the shit actually is. That's
Yeah.
always
Well,
kind of been
people
what
generally
we've talked
seem
about.
to. I think that people are impressed by it. I think it's a novelty thing right now.
Yeah.
I think as we go into the future, there will be a point in time where it's like, oh, even if you can't tell shit's AI generated, even if we get to that point,
What
I
if-
still think that people will start to like be less impressed by like visual content,
Mhm.
you know? And so because you won't be able to tell what's AI and what's not AI.
Isn't that crazy to think about?
I think
Because,
what'll
like,
matter at the end
we
of the
look
day
at
is people who prioritize human art.
we look at some shitty like 2D animation from 100 years ago.
Yeah.
But everybody has so much respect for it because they was fucking drawing it out.
Yeah.
That's actually insane to think about how much actual work
Time.
went into that.
Time. So much fucking time for
Uh,
like 10 minutes of a stop motion.
But here's a sci-fi thought for you. If you get to the point where AI can just actually write good scripts
Yeah.
and actually produce anything visually that you want it to, you could have a thing where like the shit plugs into your mind and just
But
it's
like
like
a
an
VR
infinite
headset.
auto-generating TV show.
Dude.
And that could be some shit that you never turn off if it's like, I want to see what happens next.
So I think more terrifying is a VR headset for an AI generated game.
Yeah.
Because there's already like people working on putting AI characters into games so that you can have individual conversations with them and they'll remember your previous conversations like OpenAI does. I think that you're right that some shit like that that's constantly adapting to be new content. People
Like-
are already on their phones so much.
If the shit is like plugged into your brain, like on some Neuralink shit,
Ugh,
and so
fuck Neuralink.
and so the AI could see like how your dopamine receptors and shit are working, like how you're actually
And then
enjoying the
triggering
content.
in
So that way,
in response,
it would never like get
stop
boring.
stimulating your brain.
It would always
Yeah.
be. I mean, what do you do when you start watching a show and
Dude,
it's
that'd be
fucking
like
fire?
drugs. That
You
would
just
literally
you
be
just
like-
play the shit, right?
Like how drugs affect your brain.
Everyone's had binging is the American form of excess that is associated with everything that we fucking do.
Yeah.
When we are on Netflix and we have access to an entire season of something
Mm-hmm.
and we're hooked immediately.
Yeah,
it's
are
like,
you gonna
well,
pause
this
and be
is
like,
what-
I'm gonna wait until next week for the
this is
that
what I'm
episode."
doing for the next
Principle.
24 hours.
Yeah.
Play.
Yeah, and just let it go.
That's totally a possibility. But that is a little bit of AI fear mongering because again,
Good.
that's some
Somebody
shit.
has to
That's
do
some
it.
shit out in the future that does not even fucking exist yet.
That's not even well, now it's an idea, but that wasn't even an idea.
Yeah.
You know?
We just destroyed the planet.
Yeah, we just put that one out there.
Again.
The wrong person's gonna hear this and be like, I should do that.
Yeah, hopefully. So here's another thing I wanted to talk about. Unless you have anything else to say.
No,
about
I
Willy
have
Wonka.
one more
Okay,
AI related
you
thing
got
to
it.
say. So recently, Google released an AI image generating thing, and for some reason, it's skewed to be like inclusive. And so when you look up images of like the presidents of the United States of America, it's making them Asian. It's making them like Latinx. And apparently it's just bad at generating white people. Like, you can try to ask it for a very specific kind of white person, and it will just be like, okay, but what if they were slightly Asian?
That's hilarious.
What if
that just shows how deeply embedded that shit is in the algorithm.
Yeah,
at that
literally.
point where
But I saw
the
that
AI is gonna use
that was some shit where I was like, this is fucked up. People were laughing about it online just because it is like, damn, look at how bad this is. Like,
Damn,
they
our
released an unfinished product.
Damn, our first woman president was AI.
Yeah, it was
That's
fucking
so sad.
was fucking AI Abraham Lincoln.
Asian Finn Abraham.
Oh my god. But yeah, no, that's
Have you watched Clone High?
Oh, I love Clone High, dude.
Did they ever make a second season?
They actually rebooted it, yeah. So it's not like it's not a reboot. It's a continuation.
Have you watched it?
I've watched a bit.
Is it good?
I
As
think
good
it's,
as the original?
there's more nostalgia factor to the original,
Yeah.
but it's the continuation of the story.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out. But yeah, that was something that I appreciated that show, just like
The
spinning
absurdity,
all
yeah.
of these historical characters a different way. In a way that'll piss some people off. I think that's why it
It's
got
perfect.
canceled, because
Kennedy in that is fucking killer.
I
I
think
mean, what a meme.
just like a fucking asshole.
He's a
Just like a
walking
jock.
meme, bro. I mean, genuinely.
Every scene he's in is so fucking fun. Watch Clone High on HBO, the original stuff, if you don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
That was a paid promotion. I'll take the bag when they hear this and it goes off.
HBO, my Venmo is open. I will be accepting Venmo at this time. Yeah, never mind. Clone High is trash. HBO never made anything good until they paid me. I want to make that clear.
Pay
Until they
me
paid me.
and I will stop slandering you.
So, I don't know if you've seen this either. This was a good viral week. This was an entertaining week for viral shit.
Yeah, true.
So I'm going to play this video for Preston right now because he's looking at me like he doesn't know.
No,
what I'm
I have
talking
no
about.
idea what the fuck.
So this is the Taylor Swift video, and I'm going to explain it after I play it to Preston. So,
I need to see some comments on this, honestly. Like,
if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you're not chronically online like I am, there's this video that was a TikTok of this girl watching a Taylor Swift concert from what looks like 1,000 miles away
Yeah,
from
literally.
the stage. But the caption is my reaction to Taylor Swift singing Exile, also known as the song that saved my life. That's something that people are really dramatic about these
Yeah.
days. Kid Cudi, you saved my life. Like, the amount of people that just lie about that where
Yeah,
it's
Jesus
just
Christ.
cap. Like, I've enjoyed Kid Cudi's music,
right.
especially when I'm depressed. That's just a good example, because I've seen a lot of people say that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna act like though that I was about to kill myself, and then
I heard Kid Cudi.
and then I heard Soundtrack to My Life, and I was like, you know what? I'm putting the blade down this week. You know what? Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Scott
is
Mescudi.
giving. She was like, I was about to jump
but-
off a bridge, and then I heard Taylor Swift for the first time.
But this girl, as soon as the first chord comes on the song, she fucking turns into like a Resident Evil style fucking zombie, bro.
Bruh.
Just instantly collapses and makes this shrieking noise. Listen to
Yeah.
this again.
Bruh. It got him.
Uh,
Bruh. No, dude, I think that I get it, like, you, in the way that you were saying, where it's like, yeah, I've been down and I've, like, found an artist that has
and
changed
it makes
my
you feel
life.
good. Yeah,
And-
change your life is another thing.
Yeah.
Because you can listen to just a banger.
Was I still sad when I heard Arctic Monkeys for the first time? Yes. But was it nice?
Was it nice though?
Was it a nice sad?
And
Literally,
that's I
like-
think
What do you mean?
I think that is a cringy thing when people say that. I don't think people say that as
Taylor
much
Swift
as
stepped out of the speaker and said, "No. Come with me."
is there any song that saved your life? Should I have
I
not
can't
said
even
that? I
take
think
that
it's whack.
seriously. I can't even take that seriously. If somebody really even tried to tell me that, I'd be like, that'd be one of those things that I just have like no real thoughts on,
Yeah.
and I would just be like, okay, and just kind of leave it at that. Let that be their experience. But
Like I'm trying to
I
think.
cannot get
If
that.
you ask me like songs that had like an emotional impact on my
Who
life,
hasn't? You know?
I could name 1,000 songs
Yeah.
like that. But just like the phrasing of like you saved my life with this song.
No, and the fact
that implies to me like kind of what I was saying, that I was about to fucking kill myself.
Dude,
and then
we're
I heard
on-
Exile by Taylor Swift and I was back.
I was reborn.
I just heard Shake It Off, man. I just woke up out of my trance. I decided, you know what? I'm going to shake the depression off. I'm going to shake off the suicidal thoughts.
Bro.
If you're here I go minimizing people's mental health issues again.
Yeah.
But if your depression is so fragile, it can be healed by a song that's less than 4 minutes long. I don't think it's really depression. I'm sorry. You
No.
might have been a little sad
See,
that
you're
day.
saying that you're
You might have been a
minimizing-
little sad that day, and then you heard a song and you're like, oh, yay.
I'm not depressed anymore.
I
Wow.
am
Thank you,
cured.
Taylor Swift. Nah. Honestly though, I mean, like I said, I think it's one of those where I can get it if it's how you felt about it. I agree with what you're saying though, where it's like, if this is your definition of like saved your life, like your life has never been in danger, like chill. I think we're on the same shit where it's like we've used celebrities as people. Even, artists that we have huge admiration for, it is just I have respect for them as a creative, but I don't worship them as a person.
I can buy into the fandom a little bit. Like, I would
some motherfuckers
take
that
a
I'd love
bullet
to-
for Kendrick Lamar. If I was backstage, like I won the Kendrick Lamar sweepstakes because I ate enough of the Good Kid, Mad City cereal boxes, and I won the sweepstakes, and so I was just on stage.
What kind of
and
cereal?
It's like Fruit Loops.
Kendrick called the Captain Crunch.
But if there was an assassin for some reason against Kendrick,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
am
yeah.
hopping in front of that bullet. I deserve
A
like
medal?
Purple Heart medal for that because
You saved.
because then
a
if he
shredder.
goes on and finally puts out that album with Baby Keem, everyone will be like,
Hey.
this was responsible not because of Kendrick but because
You think you can get a
Louis
song on the
saved
album?
Hey, my line is open, Kendrick. I've retired from music, but if one of my all-time goats reached out and
Just offer to be a security guard and then you'll have your day.
so I want to do a little bit of video analysis for this video because I've seen it multiple times. Every time I watch it pop up on my
You're
feed,
like,
I
it's like a
wanna
train
watch
wreck
it
and you
again.
can't look away.
So the girl
What is that face?
The girl collapses into her friend's arm, and I want you to pay attention to her face. So
Oh no!
So
she's
and then pay
real.
attention to her face. So
They're both giving each other like,
So-
are you serious right now, eyes?
no, that's not what's happening. Let me tell you what's happening right now. When
Are you lip reading? This would go.
when the chick originally collapses into
Yeah.
her friend, her other friend is kind of smiling, laughing, like, this bitch cannot be serious right now,
Yeah.
type beat. Because that's how I would react. Let me be at a Kendrick concert with Preston. He just collapses into my arms.
Dude,
when,
I've been at shit and people have gotten way too emotional, and it's like, come on, man. Like, I'm just trying to watch the show here.
Can we, like,
I
be
paid
normal?
good money. Can you just be normal for 5 seconds? Like, let
but-
the song start at least, bro.
But this chick is kind of looking like she's laughing for a second, and look at the friend who she collapses into. She's like shaking her head vigorously, like do not make this a joke right now. This is fucking serious business, and if you harm my friend in this mental state, then I'm gonna be upset.
Fair enough.
So
I'll keep a closer
then-
eye on the other chick.
Then she starts acting like, like it's actually some serious shit. Like, this is something that you are validly
Yeah,
having
making a scene about.
having some sort of attack about.
Yeah.
Like, that's another thing too. You could have quietly sobbed. You had to scream like a banshee.
at a public place. People pay good money to be there.
So-
Nah, I get it as like sometimes stuff also just seems like people want some attention.
Yeah.
And
And
it's
this
like,
was being
dude,
recorded.
You're with your friends. Like
This-
if you need a hug, if
This
you
was
need to,
recorded for a TikTok, so I think it
yeah,
was kind of
facts. TikTok
probably
is
played
the
up
place for that.
bullshit.
Yeah.
In the same way like this song saved my life too. Maybe she doesn't even say that in
Yeah.
real life. Maybe she doesn't tell people, yeah, that Exile song just saved my life. But this went so viral that she responded to everyone talking about the video, and people were pretty much saying like what you and me were saying, how cringe it is, because I'm addicted to cringe. I love cringy stuff like this, and I think a lot of other people do too. But she fucking responds in Rolling Stone, as strange as that is.
That's crazy.
Someone replied to this like, did Rolling Stone not have anything else to do that day
Yeah.
but contact the Taylor Swift TikTok girl? But she said, there's no point in letting it upset me. I reacted the way I reacted. I know my friends weren't judging me. Yeah, right. You saw that bitch laughing at you, but you probably haven't watched the video as many times as I've watched the video. That's just me. I'm just a passionate person. The opinion of people thinking that it's embarrassing and stuff doesn't mean anything to me because I never thought it was, and I'm not going to think it is now just because someone says I should. I understand why people are laughing at it. I laughed at the video myself once I first watched it back.
Real take.
So I think that's a pretty good response
Yeah.
of saying like,
I
was able
did.
to laugh at it too.
Yeah.
It's really
I see
not
what people
that
are laughing
serious.
about.
Uh,
Yeah. In the moment, shit also feels differently, and I guess if you are like a very emotional person, you might you react that way. I don't know where the caption's coming from.
Be a prisoner of the moment
yeah,
type of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess the caption almost needs to be there because if
Otherwise, it's just like,
the context is me hearing a Taylor Swift song that I really like,
Yeah.
and that's the reaction, it almost doesn't even make sense. It almost doesn't make sense that she turns Resident Evil zombie when that shit comes
starts wailing. I think Banshee's more accurate. That sound.
That Taylor Swift hit piece is coming one of these episodes. That wasn't it. Taylor Swift is unscathed in this episode, but I'm fucking watching you, Tay-Tay. So, we're bringing back musical intermission. We're doing musical intermission for the first time this season right now. And if you don't know what that is, we basically play a song and talk about it a little bit, and it goes on our Highly Suspicious playlist, which I haven't updated in a while.
I've been
I kinda
updating.
need to. I have the YouTube playlist too, and I don't think I've updated that since I originally made it.
So you don't have to look back through. The one on Spotify is up to date, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, bet. But anyways, today the song that I'm gonna play is a song that's kind of tie into what we talk about in the second half of the show. It's a song that I was kind of conflicted about when I first heard it because there's almost some of it is cringy, but I think I ended up appreciating the message at the end of the day. So the song I'm gonna play is "The News" by Paramore. You just listened to "The News" by Paramore. If you all aren't familiar with Paramore, they're kind of a emo pop punk sort of group that has been popular for a long time. I think they were pretty big in like the 2000s. And this was actually the song that got me into them. I'm not into like a ton of their music, but I thought that the project that they just released last year was really cool. And this was like the second song on there. And just, I think this song is cool, like musically. Like, I think the hook is catchy. I think that the instrumentation is really good. I love the fucking guitar in that. It just sounds so good to me. And I like the content for the most part. One of the parts that I was kind of conflicted about, like when she's talking about deplorables, because that's just cringy to even think about at all. But if you think about it, that was a major point in American history, if you think about it.
For a period, yeah. I would agree.
I think in totality, because that was Hillary Clinton that said that, right? About the Trump supporters.
Yeah.
That's where that came from. That played a huge part in the divide between, like, the nation. I also think that it kind of put her in that elitist sort of class, which was why Trump won in the first place, because no one got behind Hillary at all. And the news played a huge part in getting Trump elected in the first place too, by reporting on every single thing that he did, like he was fucking Kanye on the Highly Suspicious podcast in season 4. We don't talk about Kanye anymore.
Not allowed.
But if you think about it that way, it's better in the context, but I just think it's cringy to even think about. Another reason I was conflicted on it, because it just felt kind of like surface level when I first listened to it. Like, yeah, news is bad. Everyone fucking feels this way. You could talk to anyone's uncle, and they're gonna talk to you about, oh, it's the news, man, that's making everybody more polarized.
Yeah.
But I think that the deeper message behind it is really cool, about how she's so far from the front line.
Yeah.
And she has... The news has almost given everybody, like, survivor's guilt.
Yeah.
Because we all feel bad for not having to fight or get killed in all of these brutal conflicts that were being shown all the time. And so she cares and she gives money, but she feels fucking useless behind this computer. And I think that that's something that we all kind of feel, but I don't think is talked about very much. Just like the helplessness that you feel when,
as just a person on the other end of a screen,
everything that's going on.
Absolutely.
And when she's talking about...
No, I get what you're saying, though. It's interesting because I now understand what you were saying earlier about, like, how this transitions into what else you wanted to talk about. I do agree that was a very polarizing moment in that election, was deplorable citizens.
Yeah,
It's just
'cause-
like, damn, elitist much. Like, that really is just such a...
Because Trump was
Way
already
to put it.
feeding into, like, I'm the underdog,
Yeah.
I'm for, like, the regular,
Yeah.
everyday American farmers, all that shit.
Yeah, it's
even
like
though
me,
that was just...
the real estate mogul.
Yeah, even though that's, fucking smoke and mirrors,
Yeah.
that was a point where it was like, see...
Yeah, the other
they
side
don't
said
think anything
you're-
of you. They
yeah.
like you for a vote. I want to actually help you.
Yeah,
Even though Trump didn't fucking do anything to
Yeah.
help them,
yeah.
he still had a rabid fan base and
Still does.
being the lesser of two evils against Hillary, I think, really catapulted him to... Because if he ran against, like, Obama,
Mm-hmm.
I think Obama would probably still win that because people were fucking crazy about Obama.
I've seen debates on, like, maybe there's this sort of plan to have somebody else run for the Democratic Party and just, like, have Joe endorse them and drop out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sure, possibly. The only person I actually would feel okay voting for is Marianne Williamson. She seems like a very educated person.
Mm-hmm.
And she seems passionate and like she actually wants to do stuff that we all could agree would do some good for our society.
They could have found anybody like that. There's a ton of
people who just want to do
people that are legitimately
good shit.
smart
Yeah.
and good speakers, and they need some new fucking blood.
Yeah,
Biden
facts.
was such a, we need to do something about this Trump stuff, so let's prop up this old politician that everyone knows. First lines of the song, a war on the far side of the other side of the planet, and I've got a war right behind my eyes, right behind them, just like a headache. So she's saying, this whole song, she's talking about the cognitive dissonance you feel because of all the bullshit and acting like we care and acting
Yeah.
so humanitarian and progressive. But at the end of the day, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're not going to throw away your life to go overseas to a conflict area and help people.
Yeah.
Like, shout out to the fucking people that do, because holy shit, that's insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something where everybody, whether you're Democrat, Republican, black, white, I feel like everyone sort of has that sort of mentality
Mm-hmm.
of knowing that there's some shit that we can't help in the
Yeah,
world
can't control.
that's being pushed in our
Well, and
face,
even
and
more
it makes
to the
us feel
point,
bad about it.
a lot of people in our country on all sides of the table would agree that America should not be the police force of the world, should not be an enforcer throughout the world, should not be trying to maintain a certain order in the rest of the world, and should be worried about internal affairs. We've had points in our history like that. We've had points in our history where we're more interested in affairs abroad, and for our entire lifetime, people have been like, yeah, I'm not so sure about this. You know, like after Iraq, it really is just kind of like, so this is the second war that we've had for literally no reason other than to be there until we lose.
Yeah.
Because Vietnam was the same fucking deal where it's like, at a certain point, everybody was like, maybe we should stop sending people over to die and commit war crimes.
With all of these wars, we don't even really have
A
defined
real say.
opponents.
We don't have a real
even
say.
have defined people that
It's
we're
the
fighting
military
against.
industrial complex. It's just gonna do what it's gonna do, and
So-
America is like the head of that.
So with Vietnam, it was like they were fighting communism. They were fighting the Chinese, and there's this one song that I really like by Jedi Mind Tricks. Have you heard that song?
I don't
Uncommon
think so.
Valor. But that's a song where it's from the perspective of like people on the ground
Yeah.
in Vietnam, and they're like, we're here to fight Chinese expansion, but I haven't seen no Chinese since
Yeah.
we've landed.
Exactly.
And that's how it was with Iraq, where it was like, okay, we're fighting Al Qaeda, now we're fighting ISIS, and now we're fighting, insurgents, because there was just so many, like,
People,
America
yeah.
made so many enemies over
Yeah.
there that we just had infinite, just
Only-
as long as we stayed there, we were going to be fighting.
We were in the wrong fucking place too. You know, it's like genuinely not in the right fucking country,
Yeah. Well, what would have,
and it's a problem that we created as well.
what they should have done was after they killed Bin Laden, or, you know, you could say so-called killed Bin Laden because you don't really know. I think they killed Bin Laden. I think that there was enough documentation that they knew what the fuck it was.
Dude, nowadays, though, there'd be
but
some
they
people
should've-
that'd be like, that was AI generated.
But
The
they
more we
should
go
have.
into the future, that
But
shit's
when
gonna
that
happen,
happened,
too.
they should have been like, okay, war's over. We won.
Yeah.
Let's go home. Because that's like almost beating the final boss thing.
Yeah.
And past that, it was like, okay, what the fuck are we even over here
Maintaining
for?
our interest.
Yeah, exactly.
Securing that bag, getting that oil. That's really the answer.
There's the other thing I was thinking about. Fuck.
The whole point of you bringing this up was to sort of say that that's
It
happening
was
now
another thing. It was another thing that I was thinking about.
about the song. You look like you're about to hurt yourself.
I just fucking hate when that happens, when I have some
I know.
beautifully lined up. Yeah, I guess it's gone.
It's just gone. It's alright. It happens.
But another thing that was more news-wise that talked about this week, which kind of feeds into the song that I just played.
Mhm.
So this whole Israel-Palestine conflict has been going on for a while. It's complicated, but people get mad at you if you say it's complicated because, oh, it's so one-sided, you shouldn't act like it's complicated. Basically, the
It's a
idea
historical conflict. I mean, it's one of those things that's been going on
the
forever.
recent history was this group in Palestine kidnapped and killed a bunch of Israeli people. So in response to that, Israel started doing an ethnic cleansing
Yeah.
and fucking,
Right.
you know, blowing up ambulances, blowing up hospitals, all this crazy shit, which does not justify it's not even an eye for an eye at that point. It's like, oh, you fuck with my people, I'm fucking your whole shit up today.
Literally.
Okay? And this week on Sunday morning, 25-year-old Aaron Bushnell was an Air Force guy, and he burned himself in front of a Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C., saying, you know, I will no longer be complicit in genocide and free Palestine. This is a result of what we were just talking about
Of what can
never
you even-
feeling like you can even do enough. Because here's why.
No, and
It's a
he was an activist. He had already been involved in what he could do.
Mhm.
The fact that he was an active duty soldier, he knew that he would get attention and that it'd be hard for people to say bad things about him because he was self-identifying
Yeah,
anarchist. He was not mentally ill, and he knew what the fuck he was doing.
Yeah.
As somebody who is versed in like selflessness. You know, he worked in feeding the homeless. He, you know, had strong beliefs that food was a fundamental basic human right, housing as well, and had certain views about our government, surely, but
yeah, it doesn't make you
self-immolation
crazy.
is a real thing.
Mhm.
Like, and people do it under like dictatorships and shit.
What a lot of the example I saw was when the monks would do it because they wanted Tibet to be free from China,
Exactly.
and we saw how well that worked out for them. Tibet's not exactly free because of that. We're in quite literally an impossible position where everyone wants to talk about it, everyone wants to be woke, everyone wants to have an opinion, everyone is bringing it up
Yeah, it
in
feels like they need to
conversation.
get their opinion
If
out
you're
there.
not posting videos of children being fucking exploded in Palestine, then you don't really care.
Yeah.
Even though I would argue that I care more because I do not want to see that because it makes me sick. It doesn't make me feel good to watch shit like that.
Yeah.
Especially when there's fucking nothing that I could do.
Yeah.
That's why it's an impossible situation because I think Obama was the one
I
who
think
originally started sending supplies and shit to
Mhm.
Israel. And there is a very extensive history where at the end of World War II, was it, we recognized Israel as its own thing, and
it
because
was
of that,
created.
and because of that, we've kind of felt responsible for it in a way because we created this fucking mess in the first place. But Obama started.
Israel's a huge ally for the U.S. in the Middle East.
Yeah,
And
Obama.
it's an important region.
Obama started sending supplies to over there, such as weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
Trump maintained it, and Biden's maintained it.
Yeah.
And that's probably going to be who runs this upcoming election. So, so there is sometimes when there's shit fucked up, people are like, "Well, this is why you just got to go vote. This is just why we got to go vote." Guess what? We have two motherfuckers. We have two options, and they both
They'll
want to
do the same
maintain the
thing.
status quo.
Yep.
So in a way, we have no options. We have no options to fucking do anything except for it to be gore porn for us. We have nothing else but to obsess over it online, to talk about it online, to post horrible fucking videos that have been inescapable in the past few months. And
It'll be nuts because
it's
the election
frustrating.
is the month after it's been like a year since this conflict started. Air quotes for the audio format. Because it is crazy because like October 7th is just like a date that's being thrown around. And it's like, if you understand
it's always
how
been there.
fucked this is.
Yeah, for sure. And
But
that's
it's-
what people mean when they say it's complicated.
It's one of those political
It's-
things that's been going on for the past 20 years.
Yeah.
Or more than 20 years.
Yeah, like
but like
with the Iraq
nothing
shit.
has changed in 20 years.
Like with a lot of the Middle East shit, it's like, how do you explain 100 years of history that's led up to this moment where shit's fucked up?
And like I was saying, I think a lot of it is that the U.S. has not been worried about the state of its citizens and more worried about the state of the world. And it's kind of just like, maybe fix your shit
Yes.
at home.
I remembered what the fuck I was going to bring up. And it kind of goes into what we were just talking about. A very important thing that they teach in history class and how they teach it, I think, affects what type of people that we are,
Oh.
like politically. When
It's that dang
when
liberal agenda.
When we talk about World War II and getting into World War II, it's always mentioned that we did not give a fuck about this war
Yeah.
until our shit got blown up. And you could teach that in either way that shows like the United States is self-serving at the end of the day. We don't really care about other countries unless, we're dragged into it.
Unless
type
it
of
interests
thing.
us.
But there's also a way to show that where it's like, see, that's why it's a good thing that America polices the world, because your response a lot of the time is a unnuanced child is to be like, well, that's fucked up. We should have stepped in to stop the Holocaust before it affected us.
Yeah.
We should be the moral police of the world, even though it's fucked up. It's not the right mentality to have. It's the mentality that's gotten us into bed with all of these countries that do not have the best interest in American citizens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's
Someone spending money on wars that don't affect U.S.
Yeah.
citizens.
A
You're
lot
not
of
defending, like, war should be to defend freedoms, not to just say,
Yeah,
I have economic interest in this region.
the beginning of American history, pretty much that how it's taught to us is the Revolutionary War, where it's like, this is where a bunch of crusty white dudes said, okay, I'm standing on business. We're not paying taxes to the fucking British government anymore. We're going to do our own shit how we want to do it because we are our own country. You know what I mean? And so that lesson is basically like, war can be good.
Yeah.
War can be a fucking good thing and ends justify the means type of thing.
Yeah.
But most of the subsequent wars are just like, what did we gain out of that?
Yeah.
That's why a lot of the more recent chapters in history, like Korea, Vietnam.
Mhm.
That shit doesn't even really stick with us because it's taught in a very short amount of time. And basically, the conclusion of it is we were there for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
And we withdrew because we realized that there was no fucking reason
Mhm.
for what we were doing. History is crazy, man.
History's fucked
If I find it so fascinating,
Yeah.
but I hate how often it's slanted.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I think a lot of it is propaganda material. Why the fuck are we learning about Francis Scott Key watching the goddamn fort get blown up? Like, what the fuck is Francis Scott Key doing in a war zone anyways? Get blood out of here. He was on the sidelines fucking writing bars.
Yeah.
That's in the fucking history
Yeah.
book. Like, are we fucking serious?
That's funny because there are some like historical figures like that where the way that it is taught in schools is almost like a legend, like a mythological figure
Yeah.
of just like there was this really cool guy.
I mean, that's what I got out of it. I was like, damn, this dude's fucking badass. He was writing bars in the middle of a war zone. When in reality, the moral of that story should be, what the fuck is blood doing?
Yeah. What kind of war?
And our flag was still there. Fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm.
What is that supposed to mean? The flag was still there. Okay. We got out there. But, yeah, that's really the frustration I feel about all of this because no matter how many videos I see, there's nothing I can really do
Yeah, it's
about
like
it.
you're just a person trying to live your life.
Yeah, I'm trying to exist
Just
in
because I'm
society.
exposed to all the terrible things happening in the world all the time because of this nice little device I have in my pocket does not mean that I'm responsible for them.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Fuck you
I'll
want me
give
to
some
do?
money if I can, and like I
But
will advocate for peace because
There's no call for action except
Right.
for calling for a ceasefire.
or vote for somebody or
But it's not vote for somebody because neither of the candidates are against
fully agree
the
on
shit.
that.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So voting is not the call for arms. No one's saying vote for Biden to. He's the dude. He's running
Dude,
the
what
show.
kills me is what is this man gonna run on? Because last time he ran, he was like, "I'll forgive student loan debt. I'll
The COVID shit, I think, was
work on
what
it.
won him the election.
Yeah.
No one gives a fuck about
Unemployment.
the COVID shit anymore.
right exactly." And
And-
he hasn't fulfilled any of his other campaign promises, and so
Nothing.
literally, and so now
He was
it's-
talking about workable wage.
his shit is
standardized
about
living wage.
like let's finish the job. I'm like, dude, you couldn't do it in 4 years.
He didn't do shit.
You
in
didn't
4
do
years.
anything in 4 years. Become a
It-
meme.
It feels
Fund
kind
2
of.
wars.
It feels kind of like he just got elected because he has not done anything.
Yeah. It's crazy because there's all this talk about like, yeah, he's forgiven some student loan debt, but it's like, do you know anybody?
we
These
gotta-
people have been paying it forever.
We gotta table the election talk for a different
Another-
episode.
yeah,
because
another
there's
We got
layers,
some months.
There's a layer cake to it. But yeah, fuck it, you guys. If you want to post that bullshit, you can. But I think it's virtue signaling a little bit to be like
some of it is.
I need
Yeah.
to it because I feel a little judged for posting all the bullshit I do.
Mm.
You know, I'm posting Instagram questions and polls and memes and
Yeah.
sports shit, but I shouldn't feel the responsibility that if I don't post on my shit that
Dude,
that
for
1,000 more people are gonna die, because that's not the case.
I barely use Instagram personally, and for me, it is I definitely have some weird feelings when posting stuff because it's just like I'm just posting about my life. I'm just like living my life, and everywhere else you look on social media, it's political shit. It's war crimes, and it's like I know those things are happening. I will do what I can, but I don't need to see it
Yeah,
everywhere.
No.
Like, come on.
it's painful.
It's painful.
It's
I am
legitimately
aware.
painful.
If there are people who are not aware, I think you need to be like out on the street telling motherfuckers about this shit instead of just like posting all day,
Yeah.
every day.
People always talk about how harmful social media is, and it used to be because of being self-conscious,
Yeah, cyberbullying.
and fear of missing out, stuff like that. Now it's painful because it's the news that you're forced to tap into. Because people talk about the news. When was the last time you sat down and watched ABC? When was the last time you were forced to watch NBC News or whatever? Now it's all at your fingertips, and not even just like notifications. It's just on your feed. And if you want to look at memes, if you want to see what your friends from high school are doing, you have to wade through videos of people fucking dying.
Yeah.
So, in that way, the new form news is completely inescapable. Because people make it inescapable. Because it's a social thing. The news has been socialized in that way. People are deciding what you need to know
People are the
by
news.
what they put on their story, right? Because you didn't see anything about Willy Wonka interactive experience on people's Instagram stories because people didn't deem that to be worthy of the news, even though that's a banger of the news.
It kills me because like the actual news does always feel like it's the same thing every time.
Yeah.
Like there's just there.
Yeah. Now I talk about Trump.
story,
Now I talk
yeah.
about Palestine. Now
Exactly. Rotate.
Now I talk about artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's us. Fuck. Fuck, we're the news. Highly suspicious is the news.
I think we're better.
I think we're better too. This is the real news, man. You want to know how the pyramids got made? Listen to the real news on YouTube.
Next episode of the podcast.
You want to give us an outro?
Was I too close to the mic when I did it last week? It sounded a little
It was fun.
bumping on the.
I think it's because we were all moving around.
All right, everybody. That's all we have for this week. We'll be back next Thursday. Every Thursday. Check us out at Highly Suspicious everywhere. Click those fucking links. Fucking like and fucking share.
All that.
All that. We out.